within us in humans, and I think that is also something to be needed to take care of. Now, I do think these are the classic leadership problems that are not very often taken care of, but I think in a utopia, we need to address those. So how do we do that? What is the way out? For this one, I think we need to travel back in time. Actually, almost 1900 years, to Rome, to a person called Marcus Aurelius. Now, some of you might know Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius is one of the predominant figures of the Stoic school of philosophy. The Stoics, like the Zen of the West, almost. But Marcus Aurelius is interesting for leadership because he was running a little, little side business also on the side. He had a little side job in moonlighting. He was, and that's why on the statue, he's also, you see him there on a horse as well. He was at the time as well, on top of being a philosopher, he had the side job of being the emperor of Rome at the time. And the historian William Irvine calls him actually the true beacon of enlightened leadership. He was supposed to be one of the last of the 5 good kings of Rome. Now Marcus Aurelius, what we know of him, said things like this: the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. He said, so act virtuous, use your time well, and be cheerful. Then when you drop from life's tree, you will drop like ripe fruit. Now, can you imagine these words being uttered by some of the leaders like Trump and so on today? Most likely not really. What did he do? And we know a couple of things that were transmitted from this one. I think that is a sign for utopia leadership that we can dive into. He was focusing a lot of his time on a field which I would call self-leadership. Leading oneself first before going out and leading others. And I think that, in my leadership challenges, helped me enormously to actually face some of the challenges of the leadership formula that I've shared with you. The founder of Visa, D. Hawk, once said, if you want to lead, invest at least 40% of your time in leading yourself first before you go out to others. Now, how do you do that? And what I want to share with you are a couple of strategies that I've tested, that I've worked with, and so on, to really try to see what can we do with that field of self-leadership. The first strategy and the first field of self-leadership that is out there is self-awareness. When you become a leader, it's actually some of the crucial things to be self-aware of yourself, but it's getting more and more difficult. Any of you have ever been in a leadership position, if you've ever tried to ask for feedback, that's not so easy. Huh? You ask like, hey team, hey group, do you have some feedback? And very often what you encounter is this silence. Like in these ancient Western movies with these dust balls, come on, some feedback. Oh, brilliant, everything's fine. And you know, no, that's not right. But you're signing the paycheck, basically. And they're like, no, right, brilliant. Now, there are some ways, of course, to learn to ask also for better feedback. But one of the things I think every leader can do is to check that for themselves. And one of the tools that I have is what I would call the character traits check. A character traits check. You can do that on a rainy Sunday. And do the following. Ask yourself, for example, what was the worst leader that you ever had? And then think what your face does then with this. This is me reflecting upon this. And then go further and ask, what did he or she do actually to be such a worst leader? Did he yell, or did she yell? Or did he maybe withhold information? When I was doing this exercise, it was like, well, that bad leader, withholding information. And here comes now the trick in this tool. Give yourself a score from 1 to 5 for yourself. How good are you, for example, at sharing or withholding information? How bad are you at this one? And for me, that was like, whoa, I'm actually not very good at this. So what is my plan to move that up, to become very good at this one? Because what we find bad in others very often resonates also with ourselves. One of the key things to do from time to time. But if you do that, you will see also the vapor trail effect. You do that the next morning, you're fully engaged, but then, like one of these trails at the beginning, it's very sharp, but later on it goes, it fades away. And that's why what you can do is a strategy that Marcus Aurelius did every day. And that is self-reflection. Yeah? Taking just a couple of minutes during the day and thinking about the challenges that you have achieved, but also that you are maybe about to have during the day. Marcus Aurelius was famous for doing that in the night. For me, this 5-minute reflection, sometimes I did in the evening, sometimes also in the morning, going to Pain Quotidien, having a quick coffee, and then just opening my black book and just asking a couple of questions. What are the challenges that I'm about to say? How did my leadership go yesterday? How would the leader I would like to be do and face the challenges that I'm about to face today? Then asking this and putting this answer. In just 1 or 2 minutes of